What's up, family? It's your girl, the Authentic Empress, and I'm going to talk about this. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, she seems like she's so uptight and agitated and aggravated every time she does a video. No, I'm very passionate, and for a matter of fact, I've actually been very, very extra entertained today. I feel like I laughed the hardest I've ever laughed in a minute today. Starting from this morning, I've just been in a beautiful mood. But when you get around certain motherfuckers who just remind you of a dominant principality or an energy that you see rampant in a lot of areas, not in just my life, but in the lives of others, especially innocent souls and pure-hearted individuals who don't fucking deserve it. And one thing that I can't fucking stand, especially when it comes, with a man, I can't stand a sissy-ass man. And what I mean by that is a motherfucker that got all the fucking energy and audacity and boldness and balls in the world to stand up or to call himself being aggressive towards a fucking woman, but don't have half, if any, of that same energy when it comes to a fucking man. That's one thing I cannot fucking stand. I do not like that. And I'm going to speak on this particular individual because for your ass to have daughters who have been molested, raped, assaulted by men, and whenever they came to you to seek your fucking protection and guidance, your ass want to fucking laugh it off? You want to laugh it off? You want to shut her away? You want to be silenced, or you want to, place the blame on those daughters, that, well, I guess they better get out of it, or you know what I'm saying, as if they deserve what they was treated, how they were treated by these other men. But whenever it comes to a fucking woman, or it comes to your fucking daughter, it can be something small, something very small. Your ass can buck up like a fucking firecracker to a fucking woman, not let alone a fucking woman, but a teenager, a young adult, somebody that's in their 20s. But whenever it comes to a fucking man, you ain't got shit to say. I can't stand that punk ass shit. And those motherfuckers right there are some of the worst type of bullies. They are the worst type of bullies. I can't stand a passive aggressive motherfucker wanna fucking front like they this and they that, and they a fucking punk. They ain't shit. They ain't shit. They ain't got a fucking strong bone in their fucking body at all. Absent. And I'm over it. And I'm so grateful that it's judgment season and motherfuckers is being dealt accordingly, their karma and what they've created and narrated and projected and casted upon other individuals who did not deserve it. These motherfuckers will live their lives so damn unhealthy, regardless of them being exposed to healthy information, regardless of how that information is what's the word I'm looking for? It's delivered, whether that's, politely, whether that's with compassion, with empathy. It does not matter. They got all the balls in the world to try to shut that person down. Somebody that's genuinely trying to help them and express love to them by telling them the damn truth. All the fucking balls in the world. But when some shit go down, when you need to fucking buck up, when it's time to buck up, your fucking daughter was raped. Your fucking daughter was assaulted by some rusty ass man. Your ass cowered away. You cower away. That's what you do. You're not a fucking man. You're not a fucking man. And you damn sure ain't no man either if you only buck up, in the presence of a bitch. You do it in the presence of a bitch because of that bitch, because you're trying to prove a damn point, and not because it's genuinely who you are within your soul. Meaning, you will degrade another female in the midst of some karmic ass bitch just to damn get approval and acceptance from a fucking karmic. But you will sit there and deny and shut down and abuse unjustly a divine feminine just so you can get some fucking cool points with a fucking karmic or karmics. Motherfuckers really don't know what time it is. They really don't know what time it is. And it's crazy because I'm riding behind this car right now, and their license plate has the number 500. 5 times 3. Major changes. Motherfuckers don't know what time it is. It was 10:10 on the clock just now. This shit is being brought to a fucking end. Definite. Permanent. A permanent end. Permanence. Number 9. Nine, 10, over. And you know what? I am damn glad. I'm damn glad. And since we're on the topic of passive-aggressive motherfuckers who want to front like they this and they that behind fucking screens, or when they with certain motherfuckers that nobody don't give a fuck about, nobody don't give a damn about because they ain't doing shit in life that will fucking help a generation, that will help heal or raise the vibration of no fucking body. They can't even do it for themselves. They don't even have the courage to do it for themselves. Don't nobody give a fuck about their opinions. Don't nobody give a fuck about what they think or their ratings. Who gives a fuck what a karmic got to say? Who gives a fuck? So much so that you're willing to throw your own people, your own loved ones that would give their life for you. Willing to give their fucking life for you. You're willing to throw them under the bus to appease a fucking karmic, a soulless karmic, a distorted ass feminine or masculine that's out here abusing people, abusing their power. Are you serious? Are people fucking serious right now? Well, that's all right. They can be serious because this karma about to be just as fucking serious. The Most High about to be just as fucking serious. Our divine and loving ancestors is about to be just as fucking serious. Just as fucking serious. And I know it. I know it. I done had dreams back to back of these motherfuckers getting shut down, getting a storm over their heads alone. Nobody else. Nobody. When I exited the building, there was no type of storm. The weather was beautiful. It was just inside this fucking building. This raggedy-ass, rusted-ass building. Motherfuckers in their raggedy-ass, tired-ass, rusted-ass ways of being, not learning from their experiences, not transmuting that into wisdom and applying it moving forward, but still repeating the same tired-ass behaviors because of that fucking arrogance and lack of maturity. Shallow as fuck. Shallow. All the fuck they give a damn about is appearances. Appearances. Could give a damn about what their soul look like. I remember a few years ago, I used to say that I remember having this conversation with this beautiful divine feminine. I love her. She is my sister. And I remember I told her, I said, if your soul was to come out of your body right now and stand in front of you, what would it look like? What would be the condition of your spirit if it was to exit your physical body right now and stand in front of you? Would it be malnutrition, malnourished, deficient? What would it look like? Starved, diseased, hungry, because you spend so much time feeding your fucking flesh and not your fucking soul. Overindulgent on these things outside of you and go turn around and have the nerve to say you love God and that you love the people of God. No, you do not. You don't even love yourself. How can you love yourself when you love your fucking vessel? Something that is temporal, something that is temporary. You love your fucking vessel. You tend to your fucking vessel. You invest more in your vessel than you do your own soul. Something that has the ability to live forever. Something that has the ability to transcend lifetimes. When this body wastes away, your soul has the opportunity to live again and be given another vessel. What is it that you would do in the spiritual realms? What is it that you would do when your vessel leaves this place? What will you do? gonna be in the condition to do. And if you don't invest in your fucking soul, you know what the fuck the condition it's gonna be in to do? Not a damn thing. And those end up being the motherfuckers that just be wandering. Those wandering spirits. Looking to possess a vessel. So you can repeat the same fucking damage that you created in your own fucking life when you had a vessel. When you had the opportunity. That's possession in itself. That's possession in itself. And I'm getting very emotional about it because I'm passionate about this shit. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. It's sad. It's sad that these children have to deal with these things, with these spirits out here lurking, these demonic energies, these demonic generational curses. It's sad. It's sad that you don't care about your legacy enough to care about yourself, to care about your own soul. It's sad because you live your life in such a way that when your vessel wastes away and your soul, your spirit is just there and it has not ascended to become an ascended master or a high vibrational, divine, loving ancestor. But instead, it has manifested into a demon, lurking, a wandering spirit, lurking to possess another vessel. A spiritual rapist, because that's who you was. When you were in the physical, that's who you was. That's who you're going to be when you die. When your body wastes away, your spirit is going to be the same essence of what you created it to be when you had a vessel. And now these children, when they're out here being abused emotionally, verbally, being exposed to things to make their vessel vulnerable to these wandering spirits, to just possess them so we can control them and damage and destroy the potential of who they could have been, of who they can be. Just because of your lack of accountability, your lack of your fucking irresponsibility, your irresponsibility to be responsible with your soul. How disrespectful is that to the divine? That is the ultimate disrespect to the Most High. To be given the opportunity to maneuver in a vessel, to be given tools and be exposed to education and information so that you can better take care of your soul. So that when your body wastes away, your soul can be a trusted spirit, a trusted ancestor, and not a low vibrational, dark, demonic ancestor that gave in to these external things. It's sickening. It is very sickening. And I see, because I've been dwelling on it, actually only today. And I'm not going to say dwelling on it, but it's crossed my mind a couple of times today. And I was just, meditating on the concept, of am I being too ruthless? Am I being too emotionalist or careless or lacking the sympathy, for these individuals who choose to remain in a low vibrational dark place. These people who choose to continue engaging and behaviors that only aid in their sicknesses and not so much, aid them toward healing. And there's this beautiful couple that I love, that's very popular now on these social media platforms. And they've been emphasizing for people like, who have managed to overcome, illnesses from food addictions and stuff like that, people who are vegan or veteran vegans or whatever. And because I feel like it's beyond that. There's some people who are not even fully vegans, who are vegetarian or, newly becoming vegans, or, I feel like there's some people, and even some people who's been doing that for a while, who still encounter, individuals, karmic individuals, low vibrational, demonic, ran individuals. So it's not so much that, the message that the couple was putting out was that we have to remember that, these people are sick, that we're dealing with sick people, to not let it, really get to us. And it's not about us letting it get to us, their behaviors and, their ways of being. It's not so much about that, but, we're not supposed to be enablers either. We're not supposed to be enablers. We're not supposed to allow people to continue abusing us, disrespecting us, belittling us, degrading us. You get what I'm saying? Even when we do try to offer help, or healthy information, education, enlightenment, whatever, downloads and discernment or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Even though we do offer, these resources and stuff like that, even in doing that, you still have people who, you can't disregard, you cannot disregard, people. This is how I look at it. The same way you have people, just like that couple, the same way you have people who, who experience the same kind of struggles and generational curses and patterns and, your family eating a certain type of way, or being, having these, all these many veils and illusions, projected onto you and, illustrated and narrated into your narrative, your life and stuff like that. Most people are subject or have been subject to these things. But the same way that some of those people was able to choose to overcome and invest in overcoming those things is the same fucking option and opportunity that all these other motherfuckers have. Period. Saving yourself. It was me. It was myself who chose to make certain decisions, to look into certain things or people, or listen to the teachings of certain individuals, or pray and, and seek guidance from the Most High. I made those decisions on my own. I did that by myself. In the midst of dealing with karmic buffoonery and fuckery all my life, from family, people I thought was my friends, people who I thought were my favorite cousins. You know what I'm saying? My favorite siblings. It does not matter. Dealing with projections and spell work and dark magic and all that shit from people I love the most. Dealing with generational patterns and people trying to swap their inheritance for my divine inheritance, and me having to overcome demons that I picked up and contracted from them. Going through defamation assassination of character and slander and rumors and all this shit from motherfuckers just because I seen it for what it was and I removed myself. I cut these motherfuckers off. Gang stalking. Narcissistic abuse. Dealing with sociopaths in the workplace. Racists. Being suffering brutality from police, from people who are supposed to help me. People casting death magic on me. Getting into having these freak accidents and these car accidents and all of this stuff happened to me. I chose, nonetheless, I always chose to save myself. I don't care how down and depressed or whatever despair people was trying to conjure up for me. I always managed to speak myself out of them situations. I always managed to free myself of these many different bondages that people try to put me under and into. I tapped into my power. I chose to walk by faith and not by sight. I chose to trust my intuition, to believe in myself, to be myself, to always come to myself. Like the part, like the, what is it called? Like what do they call it in the Bible? The prodigal son or something like that? I chose to come to myself, regardless of the abuse that I suffered. The rape, the molestation, the assault, the slander, the betrayals, the lying. People abusing my experiences or trying to use my experiences against me. People wanted me to die and to disappear so that they can just suck up and siphon and wear my skin. And embody my identity because they hated their own. Again, trying to swap out their self-hatred with my self-love. And hoping and praying that I disappear so that they can keep up their antics and their falsehood and fallacy, and masquerading themselves in my identity, or trying to anyway, and trying to convince others that I'm some villain, or that I'm this dark, demonic person, when in actuality, it was always them. Dealing with people trying to put spells and bondages on my crown chakra, my throat chakra, my sacral, trying to shut me up because of the truth and all the information that I know. Because of the power I bring when I speak. The power and authenticity and divinity in my creations. Trying to shut off my ability to create. My ability to discern and have visions and have dreams that come to pass. My rapport with the divine, with the earth, with the elements, my alchemist energy. I chose to save myself by myself. I chose that. I chose that. And I'll tell you one thing. People people have many opinions. And I'm not saying that they're all wrong. But people have many things to say about the word resentment. And how you should not have resentment in your heart. But when you lived so many levels of being pure in heart, and one of those levels you've lived, which was what people are saying that you should be. Oh, you have to understand that these people are sick. You have to sympathize and excuse them because they're sick, because they're dealing with this mental illness, and they're dealing with not transcending or transmuting this. They're dealing with this. They're dealing with that. Okay, so what about when I was having sympathy for these people? And I'm talking about people who still insist on resorting to low vibrational behavior despite being exposed to truth and healthier options and choices. What about when I did sympathize for them then? Even though I came to the realization, okay, I understand the depths of it now. I understand why people are the way that they are. What about then? What about then? And they still did those harmful things. Am I supposed to be Jesus and allow these people to crucify me? Hell no! And crucifixion don't have to just be with somebody flat out murdering you physically. But the things that people do spiritually, the spiritual warfare, their projections, their gossip, their slander, their evil eye, whatever type of dark magic, low vibrational demonic energy that they insist on embodying against you because of their jealousy, because of their envy. What in itself is resentment? What exactly does resentment mean? You tell me. You tell me what resentment means after I leave you with this. Imagine being a young, melanated, indigenous, beautiful woman, beautiful girl, teenager, molested as a child by your own family members, raped by somebody you trusted, and them bringing people to rape you. Moving forward in life and being raped again. By somebody you considered a friend, her mother's boyfriend. And even though you defended your friend and her mother, oh, how could they know that he was a monster? It's not their fault. Despite, your family looking at it like they all guilty. But you being that pure-hearted person. And then when your trial date come, those same people you defended, they go in court. You not being there, but they go in court and slander your name and tell all type of lies just to defend a rapist. Somebody you love, and this is your boyfriend or whatever, you guys are together, and them raping you, or them setting it up for you to be raped by one of their family members. You tell me, having your father's older brother look at you with lustful eyes and you catch him. You tell me, having your father's best friend, when your dad gets out the car, he say some slick, pedophile, inappropriate ass shit to you, and you only in your fucking teens. And you tell your dad, and to this day, he still hang out with this man. You tell me that despite all the sexual abuse and assault you went through, as a result of not only those men outside of the family, but those men in the family or friends in the family who are in connection with your father, and then your father being married to your mom, knowing that you sleep in the house as well, watching porn night after night, 1, 2 in the morning in the living room, and you done walked in on it a few times, not knowing that you're up and you're in your room and you hear it. You tell me what resentment means. You tell me what resentment means. When your father, when you had 2 other sisters who was raped and assaulted by men, and your father did nothing. Your father did nothing but let you do the smallest thing, just because of your divine light and authentic energy, and him being a leech, a karmic. Him bucking up on you, a girl, a woman, a female. A divine feminine. But not even standing up to a man that assaulted one of his other daughters. You tell me, what's resentment? Because when I think of resentment, somebody resenting something or someone, to me, in a sense, resentment means rejection. I reject you. I resent you. I reject you. I disown you. I don't care for you like I used to care. I'm not loyal to you like I used to be loyal to you. I'm not considerate of you as I once was when you abused it. I'm not as giving as I once was. Hell, I'm not giving it anymore. What is resentment? Is resentment really a bad thing? Or is resentment just a trait or a characteristic of protection? To resent something. I resent falsehood. I resent abuse. I resent liars. I resent bullies. I resent toxic people. I resent anything that is of the nature of demonic energy. I resent it. And can't nobody, after everything I went through, where God, me and the Most High, nobody else, nobody. Me, my divine 11 ancestors, the Most High, and the people who reflect the Most High such as I do. But before I even came in contact with these people, or those bonds were solidified, or before they could even solidify, me and the Most High, me and the Most High, the Most High has grown me and shaped me in such a way that I developed a tough skin. I had no choice but to develop a tough skin, because if I remained seeing things as they were, always having this ability, always being gifted with this ability, and then some, if I had remained how I was, just because I see and I understand why people are that way, if I would have remained given so much, openness and understanding, trying to understand their madness. And it's not that I don't understand it, but trying to sympathize and be patient with their madness as they constantly inflict harm onto me. If I would have remained that way, who's to say that I would be here right now? Who's to say that? Who are you to tell me? Oh, you have to remember these people are sick. Who said I never knew? Who said I never noticed? Who said I never realized that I didn't realize and know from the beginning that people begin harming me, molesting me, verbally abusing me, assaulting me, emotionally manipulating me? Who says I didn't notice as a child? Because I did. Just because I didn't have a term, a vocabulary, or a word to call it what it was, does not mean I didn't always know. And because I always knew, is why I made some of the decisions that I've made, which is why I study psychology, which is why I always wanted to help people. I always wanted to help girls like me. I always wanted to help little girls and little boys like me. Like the little girl, the little boy that I was, that I didn't have. I always wanted to be that person that I needed when I was little, when I was a teen. Wanting to be that person for others. That's always been me. Because of my heart. It's always been me. And if I didn't grow to resent these people, to reject these people, these ideologies, these principalities, this wickedness in high places, in low places, these generational curses and inheritance, demonic inheritances that people try to trade off or cast onto me. My grandmother abusing her sexual energy in her youth and her teens, and not transmuting and transcending that mentality, and going on to abuse others and abuse men and abuse women who have self-respect, integrity, and dignity. And as a result, that energy manifested into a lot of the women in that bloodline. And them trying to consume me in that same energy. I saved myself. I had to save myself. Despite the smiling faces, despite the I love yous and hugs and bullshit, I had to save myself. If I come off like I'm arrogant, if I come off like I think I'm better, if I come off like I resent people, do understand that I was forced to become this way. And it's not that I'm arrogant at all, but I'm no fool. That's one thing I'm not. I'm no fool. And I ain't no rug for somebody to just walk all over me. I'm nobody's dumpster or trash can of them trying to dump their self-hatred and insecurities onto me and try to siphon my self-love and respect and integrity and all these beautiful things that I embody. They don't love me. They can't love me because they don't love themselves. Who am I? There's no way I can love them so much so that they will love themselves. They have to do it for themselves, just like I had to do it for myself. And that's my stance on that. So people can discuss what they believe resentment to be and how they believe that feeling like a divine person shouldn't embody any of that type of energy. People can say whatever they want. And I see it for just what it is. It's not that I don't understand why people, I still got that. I've been had that. And it's only been developed and edified as I've grown through this life. I understand completely, wholeheartedly, why people are the way that they are, why people do the things that they do, and the different aspects and variations of people and what they do and how they do and why they do. Oh, I understand. That I do. But you can only help people who are willing to help themselves. Just like me encountering the things that I encountered, if I had not been in an energy of saving myself and believing in myself and trusting the Most High and walking by faith, not by sight of what things look like around me, but trusting in my discernment and my intuition to go outside of the norm, to go left while everybody is going right, and seek out the knowledge, the information, the edification, these teachers, and whatever the case may be, information, guidance. I could watch somebody like the professional high priestess. I could watch somebody like the peace dealer. I could watch somebody like unique and unapologetic tarot.
I could watch someone like Star 555. I can watch these individuals. And if I'm not in the energy of willing to help myself, willing to heal myself, willing to save myself in spite of, it does not matter how many videos I watch of theirs. It won't do me no good. So even though what they speak is of help, of righteous help, guidance, and assistance, if I had not been in an energy I wanted to save myself, just as the professional high priestess, in spite of what she'd been through, being in the energy to save herself, just like the peace dealer, just like you nigga unapologetic tarot, just like sister, all these individuals like us who embody the energy of wanting to help and assist and guide and teach others. If we had not been in an energy to trust the Most High, in an energy to save ourselves in spite of our family and friends turning against us, abusing us, humiliating us, energy harvesting us, trying to sacrifice us, strangers, it does not matter who, if we had not been in an energy to want to save ourselves. All encountering struggles that could have at any time deterred us, at any time put us in an energy to allow ourselves to deteriorate and be destroyed. But in spite of, we rose above it because we understood that we are above it. We began to see, we saw deeper into what it was. Because in their efforts to isolate us, it only brought us closer to the Most High, to the truth, to harmony, balance, our divine and loving ancestors, the ascended masters, who all encountered the same things, who all encountered the same energy, all encountered the same energy. Seeing that these people attack us because we are a threat by ourselves alone, we are a threat. Knowing that despite of the lies and the slander and the defamation of character and these narratives that they create and try to project onto us and spread amongst others, because we know that our intentions were pure, that our intentions were good, that our hearts are pure, that we don't operate in an energy where we want to harm people willingly, voluntarily, intentionally, because of that resonance with that inner knowing of who we really are authentically, despite what motherfuckers try to paint about us. Because of that inner knowing of who we are, we chose to save ourselves, and we realized that they were truly intimidated by our ability to be authentic, in spite of everybody else being misled by cheap thrills. Crumb TV, let me make sure I throw Brother Crumb in there. My dear loving Brother Crumb. Let me make sure I throw Brother Crumb in this. For real. When you sow authenticity, you reap authenticity. You won't remain blinded to all these veils of illusions and deceptions and fallacies. All these external pleasures, and disregard those internal traits and qualities, and investing in such. Because in investing in that, you invest in the truth. You invest in the truth of all things.
Once again, we're in the business of helping people who help themselves, who are willing to help themselves. This ain't nothing new. You've heard several phrases. You can take a horse to the water, to a pond, to the lake, but you can't make the horse drink the water. That's up to the horse. You can fix a delicious, healthy vegan meal, or give somebody a bowl of fruit. Put it right there in front of them. It smells nice and everything. It looks visually appealing. But it's up to that person to consume it. Because that automatically eliminates the excuse that it's not available to them, or it's too expensive. Is this, well, I purchased it for you, and I've prepared it for you in a way that I feel you would enjoy it. And you give it to them. You can't make them eat it. You can't erase the mindset that person has found comfort in. All you can do is influence them. All you can do is offer another narrative. You can offer another perspective. You can offer it, but you can't force them to consume it. We're not in the business of forcing people to do shit. And outside of that, we're also not in the business of letting a motherfucker run over us, or take advantage of us, or abuse us. No. There's one thing to have a respectful debate, again, with somebody who's willing, who are investing in healing themselves. That's one thing. It's another thing when a person is hell-bent on defending falsehood, and you seeing right through it and having the knowledge, okay, this person is sick. This person is spiritually ill. That's another thing. You having this knowledge and you supposed to just keep debating with somebody like that? Hell no. Reprobate. That's what that is. And when God said, I've given them over to a reprobated mind, as divine beings, being a reflection of the Most High, that's how we're supposed to operate. We don't waste our time and precious energy and jewels and gems and to try to force these motherfuckers to see the truth and help and heal themselves. No, you take it or leave it. And for those who are willing, to invest in themselves, to invest in the Most High, which is also within them, which is within us, which is within me. Therefore, reciprocity, investing in me, I can invest in them. That's how they go. Any other motherfucker outside of that, yes, I do resent them. I reject them. I've given them over to a reprobated mind. You can't stay in one level. There is levels to this shit. Levels. And that's only one. Oh, these people are sick because of what they eat. That's only one aspect. One. And I'm a witness, because even before I went vegan, I was not acting like how a lot of these motherfuckers conduct themselves spiritually, morally. Despite the spells and the patterns and the curses that I had to overcome and that I broke. Despite that, my mind still operated very much differently in a divine pureness before I changed how I eat. I was always peculiar. Always peculiar. I always stood out. I was always a trendsetter. Always was a forager. I always was just on another level than the rest of my peers. I always carried a depthness to my being, my essence, my soul.
prior to the food. Prior to me changing the way that I eat. Don't get me wrong, because that definitely amplified me. Once again, edification. Iron sharpens iron. Ascension. Transcending, transmuting, transformation. Oh, that was inevitable for me. And it's inevitable for high vibrational divine beings to continuously improve. Five on the timer just now. Major changes. It's inevitable for us to embrace those changes. For us to be adaptable. We learned. Those were basic ass tools. Those were basic ass what I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for. Those were basic ass strategies that we learned growing up from a fucking child, a young age, how to be adaptable. As a divine child, as a star seed. But again, it's levels to this shit. And I'm so grateful. Because as you can see, it's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't give a fuck. I mean, but to be honest, this is how it is. My tears are not for these people, who choose to remain karmics. My tears are not for these demonic energies. Those are not what my tears went out to. If you paid attention to when my tears were formed, my tears go out to the innocent and pure-hearted souls. Whether that be children, teens, anybody who are seriously wanting a way out, who are seriously trying to help themselves, who are under spiritual attack and serious warfare. But it did not, they don't have a dark heart. That's what my tears go out to. I'm a reflection of the earth, of the elements. The water that flows from my vessel, it is a reflection of Mother Earth. Understand that a person crying or tears, whether they be happy tears or passionate tears. Passion tears or happy tears. Even sad tears. But in a lot of cases nowadays for me, it's passion tears. And I can shed empathic tears once again for innocent souls. Innocent divine souls. Let me be clear. But just as the rain replenishes the earth and creates, the trees and the flowers and the grass to grow, creates, flourishment. Us having these oceans and these bodies of water. Us being not able to live without water. The nourishment and the healing that it brings to animals. The washing away, the detoxing that it does when it rains, when it floods. Those things are a reflection of the essence of a divine, high vibrational, authentic being of light. Of that person's tears. That is the essence of a divine being's tears. Not only that, from the sacral chakra, the womb space, or for divine masculines, our secretions are, the essence of it is a reflection of, the water of Mother Earth, as it pertains to the pureness, the pure water, not the water, that's polluted and stuff like that. But that is the embodiment and essence of our secretions. That's why we can't just be sleeping with anybody. We can't just be nutting up or letting anybody just nut up in us. We can't just be letting it just anybody put their mouth on us. We can't just be putting our mouth on just anybody. Because we're magical. A high vibrational magic. But understand that a polluted person, a toxic person, understand the power that they too have. If you could take food coloring, I want you to visualize food coloring, a red food color or purple. You put a small little dot of food color into a bottle of water. It changes the shade and tint of that entire bottle of water. So no, my resentment is not coming from a place of hatred, in a sense that I hate the individual. But I do hate falsehood, fallacy, and demonic energy. I do hate that. But as it pertains to an individual, a fucking karmic, my resentment of simply rejecting them and the energy that they bring or try to bring into my life, there's nothing demonic or low vibrational about that. Not to me. And I'm an Aries Taurus cusp. Aries Mars, Aries Saturn. I have a lot of fire in my chart as well, mixed with my earth and water energy. Right? And a Libra rising. I'm about fairness and, balance and harmony. Cutting off things that, that are false or detrimental, and adding things to balance, to restore that balance. So that also means having to cut off motherfuckers who only, imbalance situations or imbalance individuals. No. And I damn sure won't let a imbalanced motherfucker come up in here and imbalance me. Been there, done that. But alright, you guys, this is the Authentic Empress. And that's not just a title that I just say because it looks nice and it sounds nice. Now, that's who I am. That's who I am. But I love you guys. And when you love someone, the best way you can love people is by loving yourself. And in loving yourself, that means that you're going to have to make head over heart decisions sometimes. Embodying authenticity, harmony, balance, justice, truth, by any means necessary. That's how you can authentically love others. But that does not mean that just because you love others, that they're going to love themselves. Not everybody that encounter me loves me because they don't love themselves. They don't love me back all the time. But that has nothing to do with me. Because I understand that's due to the lack of love that they have within themselves and with the divine. But as for me and my rapport and my strong connection with the Most High, my divine and loving ancestors, my soul family, the ascended masters, those who are like me. As for us, that love is real. That love is divine. I'll see y'all in the next video.